Hey, good morning. It is time for a coffee talk. Welcome back, everybody. It is Sunday. I have my coffee. It's a French roast, dark roast, which I thought was two different things. Can you have a French roast, light roast? I don't think that's a medium roast French roast. I don't know. It seems like you're mixing styles there. It's like an IPA porter. It doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something there, but it's mediocre at best. I'm not even going to say what kind it is because it's not worth recommending. But it is some caffeine, and it is early on a Sunday. Man, it's been a busy, busy week. Lots of stuff going on. I dropped a video a while back about the CC status, which I have now. We'll talk about that a little bit. So that's some of the big news for the channel. We'll go over what that has done for us and the channel and me in a little while. That'll be the first thing. We'll talk about missions and specials, obviously. We always do that. Some interesting marketing decisions. Not a new, but another tank that's on sale, which was supposedly pulled from the store, and it is back. We'll talk about the missions that are going on this weekend. Gamescom is wrapping up, so there were some missions for that. Hopefully you saw there were a lot of codes flying around. I don't bother with that too much, but it is a pretty good deal if you're running free. And I'll try to put that on my radar a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure how I would get that out, maybe tweeting. I will talk about that. I am tweeting now, so that's ridiculous, but it's a good way to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. What else? The subjects du jour, we're going to talk about, hey, you can trade in your Alpine Tiger or trade in your WZ111 for an Alpine Tiger. Talk about the upcoming patch, and that's going to merge a little bit into what they're planning to do by the end of the year, which as we're moving towards the end of the year, it's kind of all lumps in together, but there's a lot of stuff coming up we'll talk about. We have another Q&A to dive into. Those are always fun. So let's get into it. We will start with the big news on the channel. All right, so this is pretty cool. The big news on the channel is, I already sent this out, most everybody knows, but if you haven't, I've been made a CC for the WAT NA region, for North American region, which is really cool. Gives me a lot of different access or more access to the game than I had before. One of the cool things is I can get access to some of the newer tanks as they come out, and you can see right here in my garage, you've got the good Gamescom garage going on, and I have a T26E3 Eagle 7 sitting right here that was sent to me by Wargaming NA. I actually have the Gamescom camo on it. You can get that through a mission. We'll talk about that in a minute. Maybe a little late. Hopefully you've been paying attention. This was very easy to get, but when we get to the mission specials, we'll talk about that real quick. Actually, kind of cool looking. It is blue. It gets a little bit, a little bit into that cartoony thing, but I think it's well done. It looks like something that maybe somebody may have tried as a camo, even though it's a little bit bright, but so what? I like it. Looks good. And the tank, look at the detail on this tank. This model, this is my shill. I'm getting my shill on now that I'm a CC, but really, even if I wasn't, honestly, this model is pretty fantastic, isn't it? I mean, all in glorious HD. Look at all the details. You got the canvas wrapped around the machine gun on top and the cruise gear in the back and all that, and that's just really cool. The other thing that's going on, obviously, with the CC deal is I'm going to try to stream once a week. That's my plan right now. It's looking like Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. A couple reasons I want to avoid Wednesday, because there's some other bigger guys, bigger YouTubers and whatnot streaming on Wednesday that I would like to avoid competing with. But maybe Tuesday is what I'm looking at right now. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on that. Maybe I'll even tweet it. Oh man, tweeting. That's a silly thing, isn't it? So there's the big news. Community contributor. Drop down in the comments down there if there's anything you'd like me to do with that. It's kind of wide open right now. The NA folks are trying to figure it out exactly what it is we can do, what we can't do. I will be looking to try to get some codes and giveaways and things for the channel for the subscribers out there. That's one of the things that I'll do. The stream obviously is another thing that I'm looking to do. I have my new map series coming out. You should see that Monday. The first one will be Abbey. I'll go down alphabetically and we'll go through all the maps. That will be a work in progress. The first one is, you hate to come out at the beginning and go, it wasn't that good, but honestly, it wasn't the exactly how I wanted it to go, but it's going to take a while before I got my stride on the map room thing. But be critical of it. Let me know what you think of it. good, bad, indifferent, and I'll improve it from there. An iterative process, as they say, an iterative process. Let's move on to the missions and specials. Chill a little bit. Come on, let's do it. Okay, here we are on the sales page. I get complaints that my ugly mug and my little tagline or title is getting in the way of everything, but come on, man, it's branding. So I'm up here in the corner. I'm up here in the corner trying to stay out of the way as I point to things. More than likely something important will be up in the corner. I'll have to try to point to it. But anyway, here we go. So we are in the featured, right? This is some of that marketing stuff, Wargaming. Now that I'm a CC, I hope you're listening to me and looking at this. I don't know what your marketing folks are doing. Good job with the Eagle 7 up top, but if I wanted to get an Eagle 7 and I was in the featured section, and I'd be saying to myself, self, how do I get an Eagle 7? Now maybe this is good enough right here, but it's not really. It looks like I can click it, but if I go down here, I can't even find an Eagle 7. What? Shouldn't it be the top one? I don't know, man. Bizarre. Hey, here's the RE25. The rare E25. Rare. You know why it's rare? Because it's overpowered, and you pulled it out of the tech tree, and here it is for sale again. So, hey, look. The good news here is if there is a tank that they have released, you have hope. It will probably be back for sale at some point, or it will be available as a prize or in some kind of loot box or something. It's just the way it is. The Sabaton customization thing, at first that was a head scratcher. I'm thinking, what on earth? $27 down to $9 for what? What it is the Sabaton emblems right there, which I believe you could have got a bunch of them for free in a mission set or something like that in the past, but this has actually quite a few things in here, and it's not as silly a deal as you might think, because it is 7 days of premium, which is around, I think, $5 or so, maybe $6. The 12 inscriptions, then you're getting the 15 times 5 experience things out of that. So it's not as silly a deal as you might think right off the bat. Although buying emblems, that's just not something I'm going to do. However, people like to customize their tanks, so do what you will. The Suma is still around. We've got the 201, the FV201. We have the 4202, the Ripper Patton, and here's one that I think a lot of people like, which is this crazy little Even 90. These things are silly little tanks. Probably a lot like what you're going to see with wheeled vehicles. Foreshadowing. We're going to talk about that. Do you like trying to track down one of these things at how fast and small they are? Wait till we see some wheeled vehicles, although those might be a little bit larger. So that's the featured page. You go over to the gold. This is still a good deal, this quick starter pack at $5 for a bunch of gold, 1,000 gold, premium, 3 premium days. I mean, that is definitely your money's worth. Just the gold and the premium days themselves are worth more than the $5 right there. So that's something to think about. This is one that says available for me, so unknown if this was kicked out to everybody to do at one time, but if you have that in your store and you're free to play and you want to play one day on the weekend with a premium account, or 3 days over a long weekend with a premium account, you really can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's not even shilling. That's just a straight up pretty dang good deal right there. You gotta like it when you can do it without even shilling. I like it. Nothing really on the premium days. I would wait, if you're waiting to get a good sale, usually around Christmas there's a decent sale towards the end of the year. Although I think last year was only 15%. Sometimes you can get a good deal on the premium days when they're selling them for gold, when there's other discounts. Just keep an eye out on that. Here are the vehicles, and this again is the same thing I'm talking about. Marketing guys. Look me in the eye right here. Look. You are marketing the Eagle 7, your brand new premium tank. Why is it not on the top? Dude. I mean, come on. Where is it? There it is. It's down here. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, the Even 90's up there, and that is the kind of star du jour. Although what is the other tank? The E25, the RE25 is kind of buried as well. So interesting decisions, but all those vehicles are available. And then specials. Look, what is the difference between featured and a special? Could somebody please explain why there are 2 tabs? Features, featured, and specials. Are featured the specials? I think that's what it is. I think featured are the specials that are so special, they're featured. The Re-25 is on top. There's the Sabaton thing. What else we got going on? And if I want an Eagle 7, I got to go down here. Come on. You can even buy a premium BT7A. All right, and that is it for all the sales. Couple nice things in there. Lots of different premium tanks. I do not have the SM. I can't talk to that. I can't talk to that. I've played this 3 times. It's pretty good. It's a solid premium. There's definitely a solid premium, but don't have the even 90. Man, I need to get some more of these tanks here. I can't really even shill as far as telling you what to get. The 4202, that's a pretty good premium. That is a good crew trainer and a pretty darn good premium. I like that one. All right, where are we? We have just gone through that. Hey, we're going to talk about the missions. Let's move on to the missions. Grab your coffee. Starting with the missions. What? No events? Okay, so Kursk is over. Hopefully you got the good stuff out of that. The T-34S shielded. Kind of a cool little tank. Nothing going on here. Guess what's going to show up here? Yeah, we got a marathon coming, guys. We'll talk about that in a minute. T-50-51 is on track. The standard tank masteries. Get your little symbols. And then we get down here for the missions. The Gamescom missions were actually pretty easy. What they were 2,000 damage. You could do those 3 times a day, and you got a token. So this went on for 3 days. A total of 9 tokens were available. Actually, it's gone on for 4 days because it started on Thursday, didn't it? 9 tokens were available. Let's see how far this goes. I believe it's over today. Yeah, time left 23 hours. Where is it? Oh, somebody help me. Why is it not on there? How about this one? Maybe the loop thing shows it. Nope. Holy cow, what is going on here? This was the good event. Well, there you go, folks. Another example of how come I can't tell how long your missions go. Episode 69. Holy macaroni. All right, anyway, so 2,000 damage got you a large kit. You could do that 3 times a day. I believe it's gone on for 4 days. Math in public, that's 12 opportunities. And you only needed down here 8 to get this stuff, which is pretty cool. You get a Gamescom camo, which I just showed you on my Eagle 7. You get optics. I have no idea why they would pick optics. That seems random. I guess it's as random as a rammer. I don't know. Seems like you'd put something more useful like a rammer. How many people run optics? I don't know, whatever. Whining about optics. You get free optics. Good on it. Good on them. 10 kits, both repair and medical. And this is cool. You actually get a garage slot. And that's really cool for free-to-play guys or people who are tight on garage slots. Anytime you can do a mission to get a garage slot, that's awesome because that just lets you put more tanks, grind more tanks, play the game more, you know, which is what we're all here for. This was weird to me. I mentioned this last week. The Pershing has ×2 XP tied to the Eagle 7, I'm assuming. And I thought about this for a while, and I think really what they're doing here is it kind of advertises the Eagle 7 Pershing, but it lets everybody get something out of it because I would imagine more people have the Pershing than are going to purchase the Eagle 7. Maybe I'm reaching. I don't know. Otherwise, I can't figure out why the Pershing was ×2, other than the Eagle 7 is a Pershing. But unfortunately, it's a Tier 7 premium Pershing, so why is the ×2 for the Tier 8 Pershing? I don't know. See what I'm saying? I'm not sure. Thought process there has... I could be missing something. Maybe it makes complete sense to somebody. This was a good deal right here, the Gamescom. Look at all this stuff. Fantastic. Holy cow. That's a ton of stuff right there, so good on them for doing that. Pretty good missions for the Gamescom. Like I mentioned earlier, there were a lot of codes flying around. I don't keep up on top of that too much right there. If you dig around on some of these, on some of the blog sites that I watch, like the Armored Patrol, Status Report, whatever the other one is, it'll come to me in just a minute. There's more than just those as well. They're dropping those codes all the time. You can find them on Reddit. You can find them on the official forums. So if you just spend any kind of time looking around big events like this, you're going to come up with a couple codes and get some freebies out of it. Not a bad deal. The bummer about those things, and I don't understand why, just to get off on a strange tangent, maybe it's a technical thing, it could be that, or maybe it's just, hey, the different regions do their own thing, but a lot of times the codes are specific to regions. And it's a bummer because this big Gamescom thing is in Europe, and we're all over here in NA kind of watching it, and then a lot of the codes that get dropped are only for EU. Or same thing happens over here. Something's going on over here. They drop codes and they're just NA, and the two regions don't get to use the same codes. So, I don't know. I think that's a small quibble, but it is kind of irritating. Because you kind of have to dig through it and figure it out. Hopefully they post, hey, this is NA only or EU only. Sometimes they work across the board. Sometimes they don't. It's very strange. Very strange. Okay, so that's the shill. That's the missions. Let's talk about the subjects du jour. Well, you know, I mentioned on subjects du jour that the WZ-111 could be traded for the Alpine Tiger, but as I look at it right here, I didn't see the Alpine Tiger while I was looking around. And I don't know if this was only EU or what, because it doesn't really say. I'm taking a look at the Armored Patrol. And it was posted on the 24th, which is a few days ago. So, quite honestly, I am not sure. I'll dig around and see if I can update it. There's a link there. You basically send in a request to support, send a ticket into support and tell them that you want to swap your WZ-111 for the Alpine Tiger, and it's a one-time deal and you can't go back, all that kind of thing. So that's out there if you're interested in it. As far as swapping tanks and doing all that stuff, I don't even bother with that kind of thing. They did it with the 1357 GF a while back, and I just left it. I may be one of the only people that has the old the GF paint job on it. But anyway, if you just hate how the WZ-111 looks and you need a big tiger or silver thing on it, then you may want to try to do that. All right, so the upcoming patch, let's talk about a few things on that one. What's going on with the upcoming patch? On the upcoming patch, we are going to have the Polish line. What can you expect out of me on that is I'm going to grind from tier 5 and go on up. So I'll have a lot of videos. I'll do a review on each tank as I come across them and kick those out onto the channel. You can expect a lot of grinding out of me on the Polish line for that. The personal mission second front is coming out. There'll be 3 tanks coming out of that. The Chimera, which is a tier 5 or 6 TD, really weird looking tank. The something else, which I can't remember what it's called, and then the object yada yada, which is the tier 10. And that's the one with the 4 tracks across the bottom. So those are coming out. That will be very cool. We're going to be very busy with this next patch and in the next few months because there's a couple other things going to happen. There's some new maps coming out, 2 new and 1 returning map. By the end of the year, 4 maps, new maps, and 3 returning maps. So quite a bit going on right there. And the British Challenge, which is going to be a marathon to get the Caernarfon Action X, which is a tier 8 British heavy tank, premium. So we'll be grinding polls to get to tier 10. We're going to be doing personal missions second front, and we're going to be grinding the British Challenge, which will have the 10 missions. If you remember the Italian challenge, it was X experience or damage or whatever it was. I don't know if it changed as it went. It was quite a grind, and I expect this to be the same because it's a tier 8 premium tank that you're getting with different breakpoints at each of the 10 missions, and at the time you finish the 10th mission, you end up getting the tank. So that is a lot of stuff going on in one time. And then, of course, you can expect Halloween. Should be something going on right there. Hey, Wargaming, are we going to get another event? And was it Watt rewards or tank rewards? Is tank rewards coming back? Come on, guys. Get your feet under you up there in, where are they? Austin, right? Are they in Austin? That's right. Get your feet under you. Let's go. And then Christmas also coming up. So by the end of the year. So that is a lot of stuff coming up. As far as the patch goes, I think next week. I don't have any inside information, but from what all the different blogs and posts on the internet and whatnot say, probably next week. I also forgot. Wheeled vehicles coming out. There's a video on their page about the wheeled vehicles, so take a look at that. That's going to be interesting. We will dig into that a little bit in the Q&A that I'm about to touch on and kind of talk about where the wheeled vehicles, at least as far as Wargaming thinks, where they're going to fit into the meta and into the game. And last but not least on this portion is Clan Wars returns in mid-September. It's going to be a 2-month event from mid-September to mid-December. I actually considered potentially doing some Clan Wars, but with all the other stuff going on, I just don't think I'm going to be able to turn that corner. That is quite a commitment. I've never actually gone through a whole Clan Wars season where I got the reward. I'd like to do that. It would be interesting to have an M60 or some of those bigger Clan Rewards tanks, like the 907, especially the object. I'd really like to get my hands on one of those things, but we will see what happens on that. Let's dive into this Q&A because it's pretty interesting. Okay, the Q&A. So I do quite a few of these where we look at the Q&A and we talk about what comes off of these things. And the cool thing about this one is it was at Gamescom where they're doing a lot of announcements of what's happening in the game and what's going to come on in the future. And there's usually good stuff there because this is the corporate entity getting together at a large event and putting the corporate picture forward. And they have rolled out Andrei Beletsky, probably said that wrong, the design director of Wargaming. So this, you're getting this from kind of the horse's mouth right here. This is a guy, this is not some, and no disrespect to the guys at the different regions, but it's not the NA folks kind of taking their opinion filtered through their whole hierarchy down to them. This is one of the guys making these decisions, or should have very direct connection to the decision maker. So this is pretty cool. So their plan is to bring back the majority of old maps, an exception of ancient, perhaps rather problematic maps like Komarin. So, you know, when you say bring back old maps, there's a lot of really old ones that have been gone for a long time, Komarin being one of them. So it sounds like they are working on a lot of the old maps. Working hours are estimated to be 19 months per map, prototyping included, but they are actually bringing out quite a few new maps and some old maps back by the end of the year, quote unquote, which they said in the video. So we'll see. Minsk and Studzianki usually takes less, making new maps from scratch like Minsk and Studzianki usually takes less time, as replacing an old map, replicating an old map to HD can take several months. That's interesting. I didn't, not exactly sure why, but there you go. I guess moving it from one graphic system to another can be very difficult. They are working on vanishing shots. I haven't seen too much problem with this except for in the modeling. And I think that's what they're talking about here. If you read through it, they're having some issues with where some of the hitboxes and modeling are on objects out there. So there are, I have noted that in a couple of my videos, certain places where it looks like you've got a highlight in a shot and your shot just gets eaten by something. So they're working on that. And it says what it was caused by. Let's see. Yada yada. Before adding any new nations, they're planning to rework the UI of the tech tree as they ran out of room to add any more flags. And first I poo-pooed that, but then you got to realize when the resolution is set at the lowest setting. So I do get on them a bit about the UI and how things look, but what I probably should do before I do that is set it at the lowest resolution, because the space for things to work at the lowest resolution is much less than me on my 1920 by 1200 or whatever it is I'm using here. So, you know, there is some of that. A lot of their players are running on potatoes, so they've got to take that into account. That must be a massive pain. Okay. All right, let's have a drink of coffee. Oh, wait, I'm messing up. I meant to not do that to you guys. I'm putting all that up where my ugly mug is. See, I told you I was going to mess that up like that, right? Let's do this real time. You guys ready? Let's check it out. This is how we roll real time. This is professionalism at its best. Doing my editing while I'm talking. How do you like me now? All right. I'm over here. Hey, guys. They're not planning to add any more SPGs due to the players loathing them. I just want to let that little quote sink in because it's pretty funny. Oh, what a mess Artie is. Anyway, nevertheless, it is like, okay, so, but here's the other shoe, right? I'm waiting for the other foot to fall, the other shoe to drop, as it were. It is likely that Artie will be seen as a part of the game forever and will therefore stay no matter what. Unfortunately, no exact details on the limitation of SPGs per battle were given. Interesting. Does that mean they're thinking about it? As it was quite common to take a lot... Let me fix my hat here. Let's see. Okay, how's my hat? All right. Come on, man. It was quite common to take lots of artillery into battle amidst the world wars. Well, yes, of course. I'd rather pound them into the ground with artillery and not take a risk, but we're not playing World War II combat simulator. We're playing let's go shoot each other with pixel tanks. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty funny interaction right there. British lights are confirmed to come to the game soon. Right on. That's cool. Let's get some British lights. I like it. As of now, they're trying to figure out how the tree is going to build up, if there's any new mechanics to add to them, etc. No timetable. Announced by Q2 of 2019. Holy crap, that's a long time. All right. Swedish lights are also being looked at. Wheeled vehicles, I talked about that earlier. Here they come. There is a video. There's a couple mechanics on that of note. Let's see. So first, there is two modes, like a siege mode. And one is it moves at regular speed, which is apparently fast. The second one is it lifts up some wheels. It goes even faster, but it's not as maneuverable. So like those wheeled vehicles that have 4 wheels in a row, they can really turn around their own selves right there. And a lot of them have all the wheels turn, so they're very maneuverable. So we'll see what happens there. The firepower of the wheeled vehicles will be slightly worse compared to regular lights. That's interesting. In a way that they'll hardly stand a chance in a 1v1, so very weak guns apparently. However, their speed can be advantageous to outrun, circle around the opponents. This was odd. Their view range will also be slightly worse. Okay? Just like a car, when a wheeled vehicle gets tracked, it'll still be able to move with the majority of its wheels intact. However, it won't move as quickly. So you're not going to get stopped in one of these things, but you will get slowed down. We're going to have to see how that works. I don't know, man. Because as it gets in here, this is my concern. They're meant to be aggressive scouts. That'll be really hard to stop, in quotes. The only thing he worries about at the moment is how pesky they're going to be for obvious reasons. So that was my concern when I hear, okay, so a track doesn't stop it. It is very quick. It's going to be able to circle as an quote-unquote aggressive scout, which means the intention is for it to get in and behind and around. And let's put these together, and now let's think about, is this an attempt to mitigate some of the artillery problem? Are they trying to design scouts that actually can get through and get after the artillery unless you make a concerted and significant effort to stop them from getting to the artillery? Those are things that make you say, So potentially, and a arty hunter, an actual arty hunter, like it used to be 4 or 5 years ago when lights could get through, especially before there was physics, when you were glued to the ground and lights could actually dodge and get around shots, which they can't do anymore very well, based on several different mechanic changes as they go. So keep your eyes open on that one, folks. That could be very interesting. There'll be a public test, most likely sandbox for the wheeled vehicles. So yeah, this is going to take a while, but keep an eye on it. Could be interesting. No specific dates for well, this is kind of messed up. No specific dates for those tests. Flamethrowers are not coming to the game. Except for maybe in PvE. Frontline's confirmed to come back. So we're going to get Frontline back. I've talked about it before. I don't care about Frontline. A lot of people do. Good on you. I don't think it's going to be as profitable. I'm going to take that back. It may actually be as profitable, especially if they have a long time between iterations of Frontline where it's not permanent or it's not one after the other. It may be more of an event, which that might be the way to do it. And it would be cool to me to change tiers and maybe have several different maps. But I'm sure that's all stuff they're looking at, I'd imagine. Let's see. They're going to work on the FPS stuff. Switching between different garages, similar to World of Warships, won't come soon, but is confirmed to come eventually. 3D customization is said to be a higher priority right now. Go back to the very beginning of the video where I talked about the 3D and the modeling stuff on the Eagle 7, and you can see kind of the direction they're going, being able to hang stuff off the side of the tank and add your own little customized elements, your gear or whatever. I mean, how cool would it be to be able to hang your own gear on there and then have your name on the gear or something? That would be pretty cool. Would it change anything in the battle? No. Could you even see it in the battle? No, not unless you were up close and personal or looking at it in your garage. But that's the kind of thing that people kind of like from the pure optical customization kind of thing, visual customization. I assume that the perks will be part of the next update, which will go hand in hand with Shop 2.0. In terms of premium ammo, they're close to coming up with a solution, according to Andre Kuhn, including some major changes to Hesh, fixing the issues with the Type 5 Heavy, interesting, etc. So, okay, the thing I will say about that is they're close to a solution for premium ammo, but they haven't told anybody what it is. That's worrisome. I mean, I think you should run that by the players and see what they think. What are you thinking? What is the solution? Where's the direction? What are we doing here? Because if you simply change it and drop it and it goes badly, that's not gonna be good. All right. As of now, they're looking for their colleagues at Watt Console Bliss to see how their tinkering with ammo values was working out for them thus far. The first wheeled vehicle won't be a premium, but is likely to have its separate branch next to the Batchat 12T. So it'll be an off branch of the French. Looks like off branch of one of the French tech tree areas, light tanks right there. That Panhard thing, I think, is a French tank. That's what's been featured in the video so far. So interesting. Maybe that was a little bit of the clue right there, tinkering with the ammo values, and that's basically what it has to be, right? I mean, they're either going to tinker with the values or they're going to just remove premium and have regular rounds. The thing I've always contended, their problem with premium that I've always contended they have is they have two radically different pen values, a very high one and a relatively low one, and trying to balance the armor to the pen values when there's two completely different values. Which one is it that you're balancing to, the upper one or the bottom one? And it's problematic either way. Do you pick the middle? Well, that's problematic as well. Really, if you're balancing, the only way to do it is to balance for the regular AP round, and then the gold round completely obliterates balance because it goes through. If you balance anything higher than the regular round, then you're forcing the two to be used. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. My fix would be just pull all the gold rounds out and then adjust the regular rounds. Or if that's too painful, which it probably is, that's probably too painful, then you need to just reduce the pen value, balance for the regular pen values, and reduce the gold pen value by quite a bit. But that's a huge armor change on a lot of tanks because some tanks simply require it too, and it seems like they were designed to do that. So I wish them luck. That one's a bit of a mess. We'll see how it works. All right, folks, let's move on. Well, that's pretty much it for today. We talked about quite a few things, did a little shilling, talked about a Q&A, went over some of the things that are coming up. I will definitely dive into the patch once that comes out. We'll talk about that next week. We'll have videos coming out and whatnot. I'm looking, like I said, to stream a little bit more. Once a week, I think, is something I can do. And we'll see if it moves into something bigger from there. I have the WZ-131 here up because something kind of funny happened on the stream. I was playing the Eagle 7, but I was also taking requests. Somebody asked me to play the WZ-131. So I said, all right, no problem. I went to it, and I didn't have a WZ-131 crew. Kind of him and hawed a little bit, and finally went, you know what, let me just buy an 80% crew. So this is the new crew that I bought, and I'll play a game. And I play a game. I had a pretty decent game, not amazing, but decent. And I ended up getting my 3rd mark on that tank. So thanks to the... I cannot remember who it was right now. It was on the tip of my tongue earlier, but thanks to the request guy for requesting a tank, I was able to 3 mark with an 80% crew. That's my claim to fame. I did it with an 80% crew. Actually, the crew was a lot better up until the last game. So that was pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm down to the last of my coffee right here. Have a good Sunday. Hope your week's okay. Expect a miserable Monday and a map room on Monday. And that's pretty much it from here. We are out. See you later.